Well, hello there, everybody. It's good to see you, even if it's through a camera. Do you miss this place? I really miss this place. And not because it's a beautiful building, although it is, but I miss this place because this is the place that we gathered as God's people, as His church, and worshiped together. So I miss that moment, and I miss you. But thankfully, God has given us another means to be able to gather, and that's this digital means. And so let's be thankful to Him for that we have this opportunity to gather around His Word together through the internet on YouTube. And so as a church, as you might know, we've been going through a reading list which guided us in preparation for each of the sermons of our Easter series. And we started a new series, as Bruce mentioned, called Disrupted. And because of that, we've also started a new reading list. Now, you can get this reading list in three very simple ways. One is going to our website at jesusistruehope.com. And if you hover over Church at Home, the first tab there that you'll see on the right, and you go down to Downtown Bulletin, you'll be able to access a lot of resources there. I would scroll all the way down to the announcements section, and you'll see that the new series is announced there. And if you keep scrolling, you'll notice that it says our reading plan, Disrupted Reading Plan. And you can click on the link there, download it, print it, and it's yours. If that seems like too many steps, which it sounds like it for sure, you can also just write or contact Dina, and she will send one to you in the mail, a physical copy. We'll make sure that we are sanitizing it correctly so that we are, adhering to the CDC's recommendations. So don't you worry about that. But there's the last way to get it is you can also just email Dina and she can send you the digital copy of this, and you can download it and print it or just have it on your phone or your computer to follow along. So these reading plans are great. They're a great tool, and it's like God is basically planting little seeds in our heart throughout the week that on Sunday He causes to bloom and to grow into this message that He has for our life through the sermon that's being preached. So I would really highly recommend that you follow along. Today we're going to be looking at the Beatitudes in Matthew chapter 5, 1 through 16. And the Beatitudes is basically Jesus' introduction to His Sermon on the Mount. And he would have been in kind of a hill country near the Sea of Galilee, and it formed these natural amphitheaters. So He would have sat down, and His disciples would have come up and gathered around Him, and He could have preached to a few thousand people, and they could have heard Him clearly there. And so He sits down, they gather around Him, and He starts this sermon. And He starts it in this way, with the Beatitudes. I'm going to read a few verses. It says, "And He opened His mouth and taught them, saying, Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be satisfied. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall receive mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when others revile you and persecute you and utter all kinds of evil against you falsely on my account. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward is great in heaven, for so they persecuted the prophets who were before you." So Jesus says blessed, which basically is saying happy, joyful. These are the people who should have this joyful expectancy in life. And then He names all of these categories. And these are categories that you and I don't usually associate with happiness and joyful expectancy in life, right? I mean, when we use the term blessed in our culture, we usually are saying, man, I'm blessed. Because financially, I'm financially secure, I've got money coming in, I've got a good 401k, God has really blessed me. And it's true, He has. But another way we use it is, I'm blessed because everybody's healthy. I've got a good family. Man, we're just blessed. And again, that's true, and those things are from God. But Jesus here, he kind of turns that idea on its head. He says, blessed are the poor in spirit. Blessed are the meek or the weak. Right? Blessed are all of these categories that normally we don't consider blessed. People who hunger and thirst, who are in need. People who mourn, who are sad, who are scared. Blessed are you. So how would you quantify your blessedness right now? I mean, the coronavirus pandemic and the stay-at-home order have caused us to kind of rethink what we understand as being blessed. You might have all of a sudden found that you are teacher, principal, recess, like duty, lunch lady. You're doing it all. And you've got a first grader, a seventh grader, a sophomore, and a senior. From one day to the next, you're running a school in your home. How does that feel? Do you feel blessed? Or do you feel like we could put blessed are the overwhelmed? What about blessed are the bored out of their minds? All of your entertainment options have been stripped except for Netflix and all of these other streaming options, which at this point, you're done watching The Office for the 500th time. And God says you're blessed in this moment of need. Jesus says, consider yourself blessed. Let's take it a little bit deeper, a little bit more serious. Maybe some of you are like, I don't even know what's going to happen economically. I don't know where my paycheck is going to come from in the next 3 weeks or 3 months. I have a lot of economic insecurity. Can you consider yourself blessed? Or maybe in the health, you're a part of the population that's considered vulnerable, and you feel that way. You feel that you're basically just waiting around for this virus to come and get you. That it's going to come and take you out. And do you feel blessed? And Jesus says that we can and that we should. He calls us blessed. He calls those needy, weak, bored, overwhelmed, scared people. He calls them blessed. And he calls them blessed because he's basically saying, I have come. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. I'm here. I'm close. I've come to give you something that is much, much greater than all of these other things that you consider, these categories that you consider as the definition of being happy and fulfilled. I have come to give you the kingdom of heaven. I have come to give you comfort. I have come you will inherit the earth with me, not because of your strength or your might, but because I have won the victory and because you're a part of my kingdom. And I will give you righteousness, and you will be satisfied, and you will receive mercy, and you will see God himself. You have access to God through Jesus Christ. You will be called sons of God. You're blessed because you know Jesus Christ, and because his kingdom is your kingdom. And his kingdom is greater, and his kingdom is eternal, and his kingdom is more substantial than all of the things that we have in this life. And what the coronavirus is teaching us is that it strips it all away. And it says, these are not the things that are truly and ultimately real. What's truly and ultimately real is God. And we have the most valuable treasure in all the universe. We have God himself through Jesus Christ. Jesus is our treasure. And because of Jesus, we're blessed. No matter if we fall in any of these categories or others that we might make up in our mind, or others that we're going through that we consider negative, none of them define our blessedness, our happiness, or our joy. God does, through Jesus Christ, through him coming and offering himself on the cross for us. So, brothers and sisters, we really are blessed. And let us be thankful, and let us live in that blessing even now. As we have this discomfort and we have these fears, and we feel this poverty and we feel this weakness, let us remember that we're blessed. Let us live in that blessing that God has given to us. Because it's not just for eternity. It's for now and for eternity and forevermore. Because the Spirit of Jesus lives in our hearts right now. We are blessed, church. I do miss you, and I miss getting together. But I know that we're blessed because we're united spiritually through Jesus Christ. I love you. I'm praying for you. Hope to see you on Sunday in our online service.